back to the Trading Desk. After this segment, I just want to remind our viewers that we're going to be, Matt will be doing an interview with Steve Perino regarding the upcoming Olympic Games in Vancouver. Should be quite interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Steve's a local guy as well. Listen, Matt, I want to go back and I want to maybe, caution some people about what we're seeing here in gold. Again, we could be completely wrong. Maybe gold goes back to new highs. Right. I don't know. I mean, that's part of being a trader. You're flexible. I think what's really key in here is that this bounce, at least in my opinion, I believe you agree with me, this is not the beginning of another sustained leg higher.
Right.
And I think a lot of newer traders can tend to look at where we'd been in the last year and just assume this is a pullback within the larger trend. And well, it could be, but I don't think it is.
Again, this is where the marriage and the of macro versus micro trading is probably the most difficult part of the business. Is you and I have been macro bearish for the last year, yet we've rallied 70% and have benefited our customers and our portfolios from trading that. Okay. Now we're kind of, now we're putting that bear hat back on because the charts are telling us, even on a shorter term, a daily chart, they're starting to break down again. So now, whereas we were buying dips before, now you want to sell the rips on the macro standpoint. So that's changed the mindset, I think, and that's hard to do because you may have, you may be bullish, but we're trading bearish right now. Exactly. And you may be bearish and we're trading bullish right now.
And that goes to emphasize just how important it is to have everything in context. Yeah. And I think a lot of the mistakes that people make is they'll just look at a snapshot like this and they'll extrapolate going forward. Right. So it's really key. Why don't we take a look at the daily chart of gold, and I think that'll highlight what we're getting at a little bit more here.
Again, different time frames give you a different perception and different view is all it is.
And what's key is that the last chart we were looking at really only encapsulated this period of time right here. Now we're taking a look back going over a year. And in that context, one could still make the argument that gold is trending higher. I would argue against that. We had this big, this is not really a blow-off per se, but it's certainly a...
Well, we had a blow-off, we had a fail, and then another run without not a new high there. So we didn't have a new high in that bump, which is usually indicative of, here's your top again now.
Right, and of course this, from an Elliott wave perspective, for those that may not be familiar, this is not a terribly impulsive move, which suggests that prices are probably going to at least correct a little bit lower.
Again, so if you don't want to trade, selling it and probably with a stop above those highs is a safe play.
Right. Or you can go with DGZ, which is an easier thing to do with your portfolio. Which if gold prices go down to 1,000,
DGZ goes up.
$1,000, which I suspect they will. We're at can't read it right
1,100-ish
here.
right
1,100.
now.
So I think gold goes $100 lower at minimum.
Which is 10% lower versus maybe a higher of 7 or 8%. So again, there's your risk reward on that trade. If you don't want to trade it, you just put the time frame on, saying that's what I'm looking for, and I'll get out at 1,000, and I'll sell my DGZ at that point.
I think to some viewers at home, again, this may seem like a tremendous amount of work. But again, I think personally, if you're not thinking about this way about your portfolio, certainly financial advisors are not geared up to think this way. They've been persuaded not to.
Right.
But as we've seen, they've blown their clients' accounts up in the last several years. So I think it's really important to...
And buy and hold only works if the trend is truly long-term up, which, again, define your time frame.
And it depends on which decade or 5-year period you pick.
And where you got in.
And where you got in. So yeah, I think it's pretty key. When we come back, we're actually going to do our interview with Steve Perino regarding the upcoming Winter Games in Vancouver. Matt did that interview a couple of weeks ago. You're watching The Trading Desk on COTV, Channel 11.